Hello, this is the next video on the multi-series. I'm actually not entirely sure how many videos I will have of this. The multi-series videos for chapter 5 worksheet, and we're going to cover the next three questions, questions 12, 13, and 14, which all have to do with molar masses. So once again, hopefully by the time you're watching this, you have learned the concept in class. Now, you can think about it logically, which is becomes almost of a running gag with my year 12 because me and the teacher from last year says it. I don't say it as often, but she says it a lot. But it is true. Chemistry is a very, very logical subject. Speaking of logic, I don't actually need to draw that triangle. Okay, so if you think about it logically, hopefully things will happen naturally. I should carry on with the task and stop babbling. Okay, you need to work out the molar mass. Now, this is when you really need to start developing some good habits that will help the general presentation of your work. The first habit that I think is a very good habit is to use proper symbols to present things. There is a difference between the symbol and the unit. And sometimes people write the unit when they're supposed to write the symbol. And I get very annoyed. You want to clearly distinguish between the two. So, for example, if the question asks you to calculate the molar mass, the symbol for molar mass, which is the letter we use to indicate that this is the molar mass of something, the symbol is M, capital M. Now, sometimes the textbook has MR, but really it's just M. And the unit for it, because molar mass is the mass of 1 mole of a substance, is gram per mole. Now, you can also write gram per mole as gram mole to the power of -1. So either forms are acceptable. I don't even know which one's my preferred form. It really depends on how much space I have, and it really doesn't matter. But indicate the symbol of what it is that you're presenting or calculating. And the second very good habit would be to have units at the end. Now, if you remember when we talk about relative atomic masses before, relative masses do not have units because they are relative. And molar masses have unit because this is actually the mass of 1 mole measured in grams. So there is a massive difference between the two, even though, well, besides the fact that I don't have any room, I'm going to cheat a little boy, I think. Okay, I'm going to cheat a little bit by putting an M here and then put a bracket so I can have one more line. The only way to distinguish between the molar mass of something and the relative atomic mass is that one has unit and the other doesn't. And you are not a scientist, but you are being trained to hopefully eventually become a scientist. You need to develop good habits and become a responsible scientist who understand that units matter. I think I'm going in a little bit of a rant here, but I've seen so many students not putting units in. I mean, you can't just write random numbers on a piece of paper without telling me what is it that you're finding, what the unit of it is. Because if you are going to communicate in a scientific world, obviously, those are very important information that will be much appreciated by your collaborator. So, just start from now. Don't let me yell at you next year. Okay, that will happen anyway. So for part A, if you want to work out the molar mass of this molecule, you just need to find the molar mass of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and then multiply with the corresponding number of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms in the molecule. Obviously, you can find these molar masses for the elements from the periodic table. It is identical to the relative atomic masses of the element, and once you do the calculation in the calculator, you should get an answer. Now, I'm feeling a little bit hopeful about this one, so I think I may actually have enough space here. So we need to we have one carbon, so we need 1 molar mass of carbon with 2 molar mass of hydrogen and 2 molar mass of chlorine. So that's 12 from carbon, 2 times 1 H from hydrogen, and H chlorine is 35.5, which will give you 12. You know, it's very exciting. 85, and the unit is also grams per mole, which is the unit for molar mass always. So this one, I'm gonna go again. I think I will have enough room definitely because I can use the space underneath. So you need the molar mass of magnesium followed by twice the molar mass of chlorine. So that will be 24.3 for magnesium and 2 times 35.5. 35.5 is the molar mass of chlorine. So you have that, which is 95.3 gram per mole. And lastly, aluminium sulfate. The molar mass of aluminium sulfate. Now the other thing that I really hate is I really hate when students just use this and write equal, because once again you're not telling me what is it that you're calculating. Is it the mass of aluminium sulfate, the mole of aluminium sulfate, the volume, concentration? I don't know. There are so many different quantities that can be calculated in chemistry that you really want to get into the habit of telling me, the audience, what is it that you're doing, because you know, how am I supposed to know? Speaking of things that I'm not supposed to know, I'm just double checking with the aluminium. It's actually 27. Yep. So now I had a feeling I make some of these numbers up because I don't even think about them anymore. Not sure whether that's a good thing or just very sad. Okay. So doing the calculation in the calculator right now. Feel free to do it by hand. You may not have enough time in the sack to do that. Although, you know, it's always good to go back to good old, how do you do multiplication? Alright, so that's part A. Sorry, question 12.